My heart breaks for the members of the Jewish community. Today, all of Pennsylvania mourns with you.
A terrifying scene unfolds at a Pittsburgh synagogue this morning. Now a community is mourning the loss of 11 of its own. Plus, how Governor Rick Scott is trying to increase safety at religious institutions across the state. And dreams come true for dozens of pediatric cancer patients, all while raising money for the cure. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11.
Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Taylor Torgano. We've just learned new details about the man accused of killing 11 people at a Pittsburgh synagogue today. Several others were wounded, including 4 officers. The gunman was taken into custody and transported to an area hospital. Here's ABC's Maggie Rulli with the latest on that man's condition and possible motive.
This tight-knit community coming together Saturday evening, holding a vigil to remember the lives lost when a gunman opened fire at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh.
The only shots we hear are the shots coming out towards the officers.
Police responding to reports of gunfire. The FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms arriving on the scene as well.
Multiple agencies responded to this incident this morning, and without their courage, this tragedy would have been far worse.
The suspect, 46-year-old Robert Bowers, used at least 1 assault rifle and had 3 handguns on him.
The suspect's full motive is unknown, but we believe he was acting alone.
Bowers was not known to law enforcement before Saturday's shooting. He suffered multiple gunshot wounds during the incident and is now listed in fair condition at a hospital nearby. Pennsylvania's Governor Tom Wolf says anti-Semitism has no place in the Commonwealth.
My heart breaks for the members of the Jewish community. Today, all of Pennsylvania mourns with you.
The case is now being investigated as a hate crime. Bowers is facing federal charges.
We are dedicating the entire resources of my office to this federal hate crime investigation and prosecution.
Local leaders say there's never any violence here. This neighborhood is known as the Jewish center of Pittsburgh. It's a place that's often described as charming. Now people say they just are still in shock and cannot grasp how violence of this kind could happen here. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Now, locally, this is hitting close to home, too, especially in the Jewish community. Howard Teflowitz, CEO of the Jewish Federation of Sarasota Manatee, is shocked and saddened over what happened today in Pittsburgh. He and so many others are still trying to comprehend this horrible massacre.
It took place in a synagogue a day. It's our Sabbath, and you can't think of anything worse than that. It's just horrific.
Probably one of my biggest fears was someone was going to walk in through the front door with a machine gun or some sort of assault rifle and just take out a whole bunch of Jewish kids.
We also spoke with Florida's Anti-Defamation League. They tell us they too are condemning this hate crime at the synagogue. Following that shooting today, Governor Rick Scott directed the Florida Highway Patrol to increase the presence of state troopers at religious institutions. Across the state, FHP will work with local police departments and sheriff's offices to determine how to increase safety in each community. Governor Scott said, quote, "The shooting at a synagogue in Pennsylvania was an act of pure evil and hatred. There is no place in America for intolerance and violence, and we will do everything in our power to protect Floridians who are peacefully gathered to worship." Another lawsuit is being filed over the process used to select 3 new Florida Supreme Court justices. The League of Women Voters of Florida and Common Cause asked the state Supreme Court to block a statewide nominating commission. They want to stop this commission from interviewing candidates. Age limits are forcing 3 justices to retire on the same day Governor Scott is scheduled to leave office. In September, Scott asked a nominating commission to start accepting applications, but the Supreme Court ruled that Scott does not have the authority to name the replacements. Despite the ruling, a statewide panel is planning to interview candidates and come up with a finalist by early November. The lawsuit argues that the commission should be forced to keep accepting applications until at least January. Today, candidate for Governor Andrew Gillum was back in Sarasota for a rally. It was a special event to promote Souls to the Polls tomorrow, a push to get as many people to vote as possible. Sarasota City Commissioner Willie Shaw spoke to the crowd, and volunteers from Ruta Gennari's campaign for County Commission were there too. You can see the crowd of supporters rooting the candidates on at the Bethlehem Baptist Church. Andrew Gillum tells us he's running a campaign that presents his vision to all of Florida. not just those on the blue or red team.
It doesn't matter who's on the other side, the congressman or the president of the United States. My job is to be Team Florida every day. That's the job of governor. And it's also the job of governor to be governor for all the people of the state, not just some.
The group started at the church, then hit the streets to canvass the neighborhoods. Andrew Gillum's opponent, Republican Ron DeSantis, is back home in Pinellas County. He spoke at a rally there earlier today. On Friday, DeSantis toured the Miami port. In a post on Facebook, DeSantis says ports are a pivotal part of Florida's economy and infrastructure. He also calls them a driving force for trade and job creation. Well, more than 250,000 people in Florida have registered to vote since the last registration deadline for the primary elections. That's according to the Florida Division of Elections. Breaking it down by party affiliation, nearly 5 million Floridians are registered Democrats, 4.6 million are Republicans, and 3.5 million claim neither party. And in an effort to get more people to vote this election, a Souls to the Polls event is happening tomorrow. There will be free trolley rides to the North Sarasota Library tomorrow from 1 to 6 p.m. Now let's go to Wendy Ross for a first check on our first alert weather. Hi, Wendy.
Hello, Taylor. And things are finally beginning to improve. We're starting to see those clouds dissipate just a little bit, moving down to the south. So we're going to be left with mostly fair skies throughout the overnight time period and into tomorrow morning. And you can see just a little bit of cloud cover still taking place, but all of this is moving on down to the south. A few showers around the Tampa Bay region. We're not expecting the rain here, but we are looking at those winds driving everything down towards the south and east. And so that's what's going to be taking place throughout the night. And eventually those winds are going to be due north. So they're going to really drive everything southward. And we'll get things cleared out just in time for tomorrow. And what happens tomorrow is going to be wonderful. So right now we're looking at partly cloudy to fair skies around the region. Temperatures right around that 70-degree mark at this hour. And at the airport, we're looking at a temperature reading of 69 degrees. The winds have really calmed down. They're out of the north-northwest at around 7 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies for us at this hour. And of course, for the rest of the night, we are looking at those temperatures dropping down to about 61 degrees. So lots of clearing skies and some beautiful conditions. And we're going to talk about Oscar. Tropical storm Oscar, believe it or not, out here in the Atlantic, is going to be staying away from the U.S. mainland, but it will become a hurricane. And this is the 15th storm of the season of 2018. We'll be back in just a minute to let you know how the rest of this weekend is shaping up. Taylor?
Thank you, Wendy. Today at the UTC Mall, people were doing more than just shopping. Take a look at this special runway show. It's an event called Fashion Funds the Cure, where fashion meets the dreams of pediatric cancer patients. The children were able to escape the challenges that come with battling their disease while they dressed up and proudly strut their stuff on the runway. For parents like Joe Marie Saez, this means a new hope for the little firefighter right here. He's her son who's going through chemo.
It's a really emotional journey. So things like this and him seeing that there's other kids that are going through the same thing really makes him happy, because nobody else understands but the people who are going through it.
All proceeds of this event will go to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. On this Saturday before Halloween, the third annual Tea Time for Tots event was held at Evie's Mini Golf. From toddlers and tweens to baby boomers and beyond, families found their best costumes to play 18 holes of miniature golf in. The fundraiser benefits the Early Learning Coalition of Sarasota County. All of the money raised will go to Child Care Center scholarships for the more than 500 tots who are currently on their wait list to get into a preschool. This includes kids under the age of 5 who live in low-income households.
Every dollar goes a really long way when it comes to the Early Learning Coalition, whether it's from anyone from private donors giving some money for books or some money for administrative services, or a lot more money coming in to get these kids off of a wait list. It all adds up.
But it wasn't just mini golf. The event also featured trick-or-treating, face painting, and Halloween-themed arts and crafts. And we have some helpful reminders for you about safety this holiday weekend. Try to trick-or-treat in groups. Never allow small children to visit a door without a trusted adult. Teach children not to approach vehicles. And parents should always accompany trick-or-treaters, no matter how old the children are. Still to come here on ABC 7, a new report says 150,000 cars are back on the road after major hurricanes. Why experts are warning drivers to look out for these flood-damaged vehicles. And a look at the devastation Hurricane Michael had on Florida crops. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Introducing the ABC 7 First Alert Weather Tracker. This all-new mobile weather lab is just one more way. The team you trust is keeping you ahead of the storms. The ABC 7 First Alert Weather Tracker, sponsored by Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
Back now with the growing danger on the roads in the wake of historic hurricanes like Harvey and Irma. A new report warns of the 47% spike in the number of flood-damaged cars that are sneaking back onto the market. ABC's Whit Johnson tells us what you need to know to avoid getting taken for a ride.
Thousands of cars submerged in underwater disaster zones, seemingly consumed by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma last year. But this morning, driver beware. Experts warning that many of these washed-up vehicles are hitting roads and lots across the country.
Over the past year, there's been a 47% spike cars that have returned to the road that were previously flooded.
Used car tracking service Carfax says 150,000 flood cars popped up in just the past year.
It's going to corrode the mechanical system, it's going to short the electrical system, and it's going to impact the safety system to where your airbags and even your anti-lock brakes may not work when you need them.
And they're hard to spot. Carfax shows us how after a 5-hour makeover, this Hurricane Harvey damaged car looks shiny and new. Look at these before and afters of this trunk. Experts say these cars may look fine, but inside could be massive damage.
We found out the carpet was damp. They did try to wet vac it.
In 2015, Bob Sluss says he was approached by several customers.
They're not going to divulge that information to us because it will decrease the value of their vehicle.
Trying to trade in cleaned up, flood-damaged cars. but he caught them. And Carfax says these cars often aren't being sold in flood zones.
Many of these cars can be moved hundreds, if not thousands of miles away from where the flooding happened across the country and resold anywhere, some to people that have no idea that that car was flooded.
And with a busy hurricane season, they're expecting more.
As long as we continue to see severe storms and historic hurricanes like we've had over the last several years, we're only going to see these cars increase.
It will likely be years before crops in Florida fully recover from the devastating effects of Hurricane Michael. A new study says Florida crops suffered $158 million in damages from the storm. The report by the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences says that almost all of the state's cotton crop was wiped out. Those losses total around $51 million. The state's peanut crop also took a mega hit. Separately, the Florida Forest Service estimates that Florida lost almost $1.3 billion in timber that would have been harvested over the next several years. On a brighter note, all courts in the Panhandle and the Florida State University campus in Panama City will reopen on Monday. All repairs have been completed and all courts in the 14th Judicial Circuit are ready to open next week. Public schools in Jackson and Liberty counties will also reopen, but schools in Bay and Calhoun counties will remain closed. Hurricane Michael made landfall on October 10th in Mexico Beach as a Category 4 storm. We have Wendy, who joins us again with the first alert forecast. Hi, Wendy.
Hello, and we're finally starting to see some improvements. We are getting those clearing skies for the overnight time period, and it will be cooler on Sunday than it was today. So tomorrow we're going to see our temperatures in the upper 70s for daytime highs. Today we saw our temperature high about 83 degrees. And then we have a cold front coming in next week, which will bring us another opportunity for rain. But right now things are really beginning to improve. We've got the showers located out here in the Atlantic. The cloudy weather is sinking on down to the south. So we're left now with partly cloudy to mostly fair skies all across our region. And we're not expecting to see rain tonight. So things are going to be nice and quiet tonight as things begin to clear up and clear out. And you can see this band of clouds that stretched all the way out here into the Gulf of Mexico. And that now is sinking southward, and it's dissipating as it does so. So we're eventually going to be cleared out completely from all of this. We've been getting just a couple of spots of rain, primarily around the Tampa Bay region, but most of that is not going to be affecting us for tonight. So we're not expecting to see anything in the way of rainfall for this evening. And the dew points have come down. They've come way down, and that's what's giving it that feeling of crispness in the air. So you can see 40s and 50s across northern and central Florida, and that's making things feel a whole lot more comfortable out there. Winds, too, are coming in out of the northwest, and they've really died down. Earlier in the day, we were getting winds of up to 18 miles per hour, but now throughout the overnight time period, we're seeing 5 to 7 to 8 mile per hour winds down to the south of 11 mile per hour winds now in Venice, but those two are going to subside as the night wears on, and eventually we're going to see those winds shift around just a little bit and come out due north, so that'll really push everything out of the way. And today we did have a high of 83 degrees. You'll have to take my word for it. And here it is. 83 is normally what we should be seeing. Actually, it was a high of 80 degrees. 83 is average for us. And then we had an overnight low last night in the 70s, the mid 70s. But we are going to see those temperatures a little bit cooler tonight. So right now we're already down into the 60s. We've got 173 degree reading over here in Longboat Key. Otherwise, we're looking at temperatures mostly in the 60s, and we're going to continue to see those temperatures drop just a little bit more. And believe it or not, we're now dealing with the 15th storm. Oscar is tropical storm strength again, and we are also going to be seeing Oscar very likely becoming a hurricane probably by tomorrow. The good news is it's way out here in the Atlantic. It's not going to pose a problem for the U.S. mainland. Winds now at 65 miles per hour, moving very rapidly towards the southwest, west-southwest, and then it's going to swoop on up towards the north and east and eventually move back up to the colder waters of the North Atlantic. So we're looking at the system becoming a hurricane by tomorrow, 75 mile per hour winds, and then it makes the curve on up towards the north and east. Still very strong by Wednesday, Category 1, but it will be dying down once it moves over the northern waters of the North Atlantic. And in the meantime, this is what it looks like if I can get out of here. Here you can see it. This is Oscar right here, and you can see the front that's going to be pushing it and interacting with it, and that front will help to bring it moving it on up towards the north and east. And in the meantime, we've got another frontal system that's going to be moving across the country, and this is the one that's going to be affecting us by the middle or by the end of this upcoming week, and we've got a very good chance of rain with that system coming on through. So this is what it looks like over the next several days. You can see a temperature reading of 78 degrees tomorrow. We're back up into the 80s with no rain all the way through Wednesday, and then Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, that's when the next front is going to be coming on through and affecting us. This map just switched over because we went past midnight, so everything just changed up. Taylor?
Thank you. Before the start of Game 4 of the World Series, the teams and fans honored the memory of the lives lost in this morning's tragic shooting in Pittsburgh. Take a look.
As we rise for our nation's colors and anthem, we ask that you join us as we honor the memory of the victims of this morning's tragedy at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As our nation grieves their loss and for their loved ones, we also express our commitment to each other to embrace the grace and values of tolerance, justice, and dignity that form the foundation of our common bond.
A big victory for the Georgia Bulldogs tonight. Number 9 Florida taking on 7th-ranked Georgia in an SEC showdown. Mid-first quarter, Georgia leads 3-0. Jake Fromm throws to Jeremiah Holloman in the end zone for the 16-yard touchdown. Early third quarter, Georgia now leading 13-7. Franks throws over the middle to Freddie Swain for the 36-yard touchdown. Florida leads 14-13. With under 5 minutes to play, Georgia's DeAndre Swift breaks through and goes 33 yards for the touchdown to put the game out of reach. The Bulldogs win 36-17. And number 21, USF making the trip to take on Houston in the first quarter. Houston leading 7-0. Derek King takes a snap but slaps it to Marquez Stevenson, who runs in for the 15-yard touchdown. Second quarter, USF down 14-7. Johnny Ford runs straight up the middle for a 32-yard touchdown. Game is tied at 14, and later in the third quarter, Houston now leading 35-29. King throws to Jeremy Singleton for the 52-yard touchdown. Houston wins 57-36. And Arizona State taking on Southern Cal. Check out this play of the day. Manny Wilkins throws it down the sideline to N'Keal Harry. He makes a spectacular one-handed grab. Check out the replay as Harry reaches back and makes what could be the catch of the year. That's the play of the day. And that's a look at sports, your winning lotto numbers straight ahead. Stay with us.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
That is a pretty good breakfast
You're not even eating?
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Support the Hurricane Michael Relief and Disaster Fund by donating to the United Way of Northwest Florida today. Help communities rise and rebuild after the devastating mess left behind. Every donation makes a difference and is appreciated. Together, we are all Panhandle Strong.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Wendy, it's Halloween weekend. There's a lot of people out.
A lot of people are going to be out Wednesday night. We don't have to worry about any rain, though. That's the good news, because a lot of people are going to be out Wednesday night. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when we've got the next cold front coming through. That's going to be our next big chance of rain. But don't think about that. Just enjoy today, because it's going to be gorgeous on Sunday. It'll be a beautiful day Sunday.
And happy early Halloween. Thanks for joining us.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
We get it. You're busy. But what about those moments when life slows down? It only takes a minute to get election ready. Check your voter registration status. Make sure your signature is up to date. Review your sample ballot. Know your election dates and voting options. So take a moment. Be election ready.
I'm Secretary of State Ken Detzner. Get ready, get set, vote.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.